All right, we got Dario Durham on the podcast. Comedian, good friend of mine.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We in the building.
Fuck yeah. You had me on your Laugh Factory show a few times.
Man, look, it had a blast.
It was so much fun, yeah.
Man, look, those are so fun.
That room is so cool.
Ain't it? It's just a dope vibe in there. I always say, like, in Chicago, that's probably one of my favorite places.
It's fun, man. Yeah. I was there last night for the open mic.
Okay.
And I got pulled last out of the bucket, so I'm thinking like, oh, this will be fun, you know.
Going last at open mic. Yeah.
It's gonna be rough. But I show up there's a bunch of people in there, and it was actually fun. I was like, okay.
Is it? It's because it do be like people that's off the street too, just come and want to see.
They
comedy.
do, yeah.
That's wild. They don't realize they see an open mic.
Yeah, yeah, that's always perplexed me when regular people want to go watch an open mic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess it's because like we're comics and we're like, oh, we have to be here.
Yeah, right. We take it for granted.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
we're taking this shit for granted.
I guess it's a little bit entertaining for comedy fans to see like comedy in the raw. You see some people who are good, working on new stuff, struggling with, and you see people who are just bad.
Yeah,
and
you might be able to lose. You might lose some people. You might be good and have one bad open mic, and people are like, "Oh, that guy's trash."
Oh,
you're like, "No shit, come see a real show." I'm lit.
Yeah, Laugh Factory does it right though, because they like spike people in.
Oh yeah,
which I think is so important. I know people get mad about it.
Yeah.
My thing with comics is like, work your way in.
Yeah,
right. Do the time, you know.
Put it in, man. Look, people go. You got to keep that energy going, especially at the open mic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you got to keep that shit up.
Because if it's an open mic that you're actually trying to like have an audience at, and if it's totally random,
and they charging people two drinks.
Yeah. Law of averages could result in 10 rough sets in a row.
Somebody you're gonna lose out on this one.
Oh yeah. I remember. Well, I don't know. So I remember one time doing an open mic. And damn, I don't want to. I was like, should I tell the story? I shouldn't tell the story. But let's say one time I had the experience where people paid good money for an open mic, and it was ran in a way where it was not a good show for them. Let's put it that way. And it was very short.
Oh, trust me. Oh, it's a short show.
It was lasted like 20 minutes.
Damn. And they probably paid like $20 for the tickets.
Something like that. And there was only like. It was like me and one other guy who like actually kind of been doing comedy for a while. Everyone else was like brand new.
Damn, was it here in Chicago?
He said I don't want to get to because I just realized like to tell the good part of the story, it would have to.
You got to tell the venue, right?
Well, yeah. So
all right, we'll leave it alone.
Right, because I like the venue.
Yeah. But
and they don't do it like that anymore.
Well,
actually, that venue doesn't exist, but other ones exist.
Oh, now we getting there. Now we get to the bottom of it. Shit,
it's a chain.
Okay. I think I got an idea.
Yeah.
I think I got an idea. Yeah.
But anyways, open mics. I tell you though, I mean, I said I don't understand why people go, but I guess if you like comedy, it's probably a cool experience to have.
Man, look, I think now more than ever, it's probably dope to see the psyche of a comedian and like what we do, you know, like on the day-to-day, you know what I mean, like and try to like craft these jokes.
Right.
I think it's only fair though if those same people come back to an actual show and see that those same people at some point and be like, oh, I saw that joke. Let's be honest, not all of us gonna make it to the big time. So
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like the only way you know if that dude you once said sucked got better is that you gotta come back to another show today.
Yeah.
So long story short, support your comics. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to support us through the process.
Exactly. I think this is like such a new era for comedy where, like there's more access to information about comedy, like comedy podcasts and things like that. I always think like we're doing it now, but I try not to talk too much inside baseball about comedy because I figure like who cares about that?
Yeah.
But a little bit I think is okay because there's a lot of podcasts out there that only do that and have a lot of listeners. People are kind of interested in the inner workings of it.
Man, look, I think when it comes to podcasts, people want to know they want to know who I'm talking to. Like, who am I listening to? Like, are they a robot? Is this all we doing? Like, do you do something else? Like, so I think it's fine to pepper in shit. Like, I do it all the time on my podcast. You listen to it, you'd be like, is this a history podcast or this is just us a comedy couple podcast? What's going on?
Yeah, so you go around the city and take amazing photos in Chicago.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, they are incredible. I have to say,
dude. Like I literally picked up a camera at the start of the pandemic, first camera, and just like only reason I got a camera is for my girlfriend. Like, she's a cook from Jordan, and that was the first time I had food like that, like in that capacity. So I'm like, people got to see this,
right?
So I don't know why I thought, I was like, man, we should take pictures and put them on the internet.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I was like, let me go get a camera. And that's how it started. Like, it's just snowballed into, all right, now I like this. This is a passion. It's peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get to go different places, different perspective. It's just snowball, man. I love it.
Yeah, so cool. You know, I only started seeing your stuff when we met like about a year ago.
Yeah.
But did you like during the lockdowns? Did you get some cool photos of like busy places that were empty and stuff like that?
Believe it or not, man, no. Because I wasn't like for me at the time, I was just learning the how to work a camera. Like I didn't even know like what this was. I was just taking pictures of food, food pics, trying to get better at that craft. But then, during the pandemic, we were trying to work on shows. I remember transitioning to trying to figure out how to make this camera be a webcam so I can have dope ass camera footage. And I wormed my way into videography somehow, from taking pictures and so now to answer the question, no, I didn't go out. I didn't even go out and take pictures when I could have. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Some of that is kind of cool. I remember when I was living in Nashville at the time, and I had a motorcycle then, and I would ride my motorcycle down Broadway. Have you ever been in Nashville?
Yeah.
So, Broadway is like this, it's like the one crazy busy spot, for all the tourists and everything. Like 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, no one out there.
Nobody.
I mean, it was creepy.
Bro, let me tell you.
All the lights were still on there, too.
So here's the crazy part. So, like, similar with your experience, man, I'm born and raised, lived here in Chicago my whole life, man. And the day that they said Chicago was shutting down, I was actually in the process of moving from the suburbs back to Chicago.
Okay.
And I had to go to get my stuff out of storage, and move it. And I had this big U-Haul truck, and I had to go from here, go there, and come back. Bro, that was Plainfield, Illinois. It took me 30 minutes to get there, 30 minutes back. On a good day, that's an hour, 15-minute drive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember looking at the Chicago streets and being like, yo, I'd never seen this shit like this. Like in my 33 years, 35 years of life, you know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck is going on? So yeah, man, crazy.
Yeah. Getting in and out of the city is a lot. Yeah. Like it takes me about 8 hours to drive from Nashville to my place in Chicago. The last 4 miles of it is about 45 minutes.
Dang. Because the city is just, like getting out of here, man. Oh my goodness.
Oh man. If you work in the city and you live like outside of the city, you have to take a train.
I don't know how you do it. Yeah, you got to.
But you can't try. That's crazy.
When I worked on Michigan Avenue and lived in Plainfield, I took the Pace bus, and because the train, you couldn't take the train, you would have to go to Naperville or Joliet stop, which was like 30 minutes away from me. On top of like,
drive your car there and park it somewhere.
Yeah, and so I'm like, that's 2 hour? It was a 2 hour bus ride. Pace bus ride. So that was bad enough. But on top of that, no, I was like, dude, let's. 2 hours, man, to get to the city. I had to make a change. I hate the pandemic happened, but like it happened at a good time, from my perspective, in that regard,
Yeah, I've always felt like one of the worst places to live is like the outskirts of a city, either be in the eye of the storm, or out and do things outside of it.
Yeah, dude. I'm so ridiculous. I'm back to my old Chicago ways now, like where like if it's 15 minutes, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
like if you tell me to go 15 minutes anywhere, I'm like, nah, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I had to change my perspective so much moving up here because growing up, it's like everything was 7-8 miles away. It's like that's just going to the store, that's going to the gas station. Like that's just whatever. It's fine. It's like it's just right there. Yeah. But here, if something is like 8 miles away, it's like oh Jesus.
Fuck, where the hell am I going?
We're going on the other side of the country.
What the hell, bro? So we go from live on the north side now, and we go down to south side a lot. Like I'm down there probably at least like 3-4 times a week. But when you go to Hegwish, which is the southernmost community area. That's a 30-minute drive from where I am, and I'm like, "We're doing it for the bit. We're doing it for the bit." Like this is what we do now. So
yeah. It's like Red Room Comedy Club. It's on my street.
Yeah, it's on Western, but a long way.
It's 8 miles.
Yeah, a long way up Western. Yeah,
it takes me forever to get up there.
Oh my goodness, it was crazy. It's like so I grew up off of Western, down further south. You know what I mean? Like, so I grew up on Western, so. Me seeing Western, I'm like, God, dog, I'm this far away from home. Like this shit is, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is cool. Someone explained to me, another local from here explained to me how Chicago is like laid out in a really like organized way, and it's because of the fire. Yeah, right? Is that true?
Not necessarily because of the fire.
Okay.
It actually almost nothing to do with the fire.
Really? All right.
Yeah. I guess in a sense of that's the start. That's where we start rebuilding the streets and things like that.
Yeah,
So
okay.
so I guess yes in that regard, but really nothing to do with the fire. But like Chicago is laid out perfectly. When it comes to like in most major cities, there's a lot of diagonal. Like further up north, yeah, there's diagonal streets, but yeah, Chicago's laid out on the grid, man. And if we actually just did a whole episode explaining how to read the streets and understand where you are anywhere in the city.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
Yeah,
I'm starting to get it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Like, I'd be like, I've gotten to where I can kind of start to navigate I'm like a slave to the GPS. I always use my GPS, even if I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to where, like, sometimes I'll just be like, I think I know what I'm doing. And I can kind of navigate based on, all right, that's cross street. Okay, I'll go up this way, and then kind of start to figure it out.
Yeah, man, dude, it's very interesting once you like know it. And it takes a little time to like know it in this sense, you know what I mean?
Right,
but like, I guess if you're going all streets north and south, north and west are even, and all streets that are south and east are odd. So that's a fun way of like just knowing where you are, in the city. Yeah. So like a quick little way. So
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
you mentioned right before we started about you did a whole episode on bricks.
Yeah,
which is awesome. Yeah. That sounds so cool. and what's funny is like. It's something I've always noticed. Like I like antique things, and like that stuff has always been interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I've noticed like you can kind of tell the age of a building by the type of bricks.
Yeah.
You know, like so this place was built in 1885, and
after the fire.
Yeah, that's right.
That's because of the fire.
Right. Yeah. I heard like Wicker Park was built like right after the fire. This whole area.
Yeah.
But bricks, I don't know when they stopped doing this, but you can tell like the old brick buildings because the bricks look like shit.
Yeah, yes.
Like they were made by hand almost, and there's like chunks of stuff in them or whatever.
Yeah, and they call it the Chicago brick. It's literally the Chicago brick, and that's what this is. And like if you notice any building, most buildings in Chicago, there was an ordinance actually put out that after the fire, all buildings had to be made of brick. But also there was an ordinance that all buildings had to have the front of it had to have nice brick, and the sides of it we didn't give a damn. So you could have the shit brick. So so that's So actually one of the last brick foundries where they made the brick is further up north in the Belmont-Cragen area. Okay, and that used to be also after they stopped making the bricks there. That used to be Chicago's first and only ski resort.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It lasted for 1 year. Yeah, it lasted for 1 year, and right now it's a shopping center right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah. So that was funny. Like that was the brick episode. We talked about all that and how it started.
Huh. That's cool. So what was specific about the Chicago bricks versus like?
Well, the specific thing was that we had to make the change. Okay. And Chicago wasn't doing that. We were at one point for the longest time the number 1 lumber capital in the world. So we shipped out, I think from, around 1844 to about 1915, we shipped out 7 billion with a B feet of wood to the rest of the world. So, brick, we didn't do brick.
Right.
So when we had to make that pivot after like the whole damn city burned down, where are you gonna get the brick from? So we had to like source brick, and that's where you see a lot of communities back in that day. They built along rivers, and that's where a lot of the brick came from, clay and things like that. We used to have brick shipped in also from St. Louis, which is crazy because they're along the river also. Yeah. So that's where we get brick. But Chicago used to make our own brick, and it was it was so popular. We don't do it anymore, but it was so popular that when they used to tear down buildings, now even today, when they tear down buildings, people want to buy this brick because this is Chicago style brick.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's so neat. Yeah, I've always thought brick places were cool. Like when I lived in Nashville, I lived in a place that was an old warehouse that was built in the late 1800s, and it didn't look exactly like this, but it was this type of brick where it looked rough. It wasn't like smooth and perfect or whatever.
Yeah.
And somewhat one of the like maintenance guys told me there was a guy who bought a unit that became available next to his, and then he had the wall knocked out so he could like conjoin them.
Yeah.
And he said that when he knocked through the wall, I didn't realize that they were built like this. That it was you had whatever. We had brick layer like this way on each side, and then you had bricks like this on the inside.
Yeah, they
like,
just put shit anywhere.
That is solid.
Yeah. They just put. I mean, anywhere. See, brick was so different. Like the rest of the world was doing it, like our country was doing it better than Chicago was. You know, at the time we were building everything with wood, like and then the city burned down. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy that literally everything didn't burn back then.
Yeah,
because I mean, candles on the wall, kerosene lanterns and stuff. I mean,
we were playing with fire for a long time. You know, like for us to last I think we lasted 40 years, like almost 40 years before we officially burned down. We're like, well, let's change this shit up.
I wonder how many people at a certain point were just like, you know what? I'll just sleep when it's dark.
Yeah, I mean, like
open a window
for real, dude. Like, there's no way I could.
Not worth it.
Man, I couldn't do it. I couldn't have done it. How could you sleep with all that, man?
Right.
Hell no.
It was funny when I signed my lease for this place. One of the rules is no candles. It made me laugh.
That's funny. Yeah, they don't want you to burn down.
No.
they like the part of the wood you can't see is crucial to the building stand. That's funny. That's funny, dude. No candles. Like,
I was like, that's a holdover.
So don't set the mood with another lady. You bring a lady over here. Don't set the mood.
Exactly. No, can't do it.
Battery joints, you know.
The little thing that wiggles.
Yeah. You better get one of them. You know? Candelabras or something.
Yeah, so I should make it like a Chicago Fire battery candle.
Dude, honestly, that would be a pretty nice selling point here in Chicago. Or maybe some sentiment might be hurt.
Yeah. It's interesting that like that happened so long ago, but it's still like such a part of the city.
Bro, I mean, like, well, we engulf it in the name, you know what I mean? Like of a lot of things, a lot of different things. We take pride in it. It's Chicago. You know what I mean? Like you've been here long enough now. Like, everything we do that's historic, we take pride in it.
Yeah. Which is cool. I feel like Chicago is, I mean, there's unfortunately like been a lot of like old like bars and restaurants closed down, but as far as like the buildings themselves, I feel like Chicago preserves that pretty well.
We do, man. Like, and I think, you know what's funny, doing this over the last 2 years of documenting everything, every neighborhood, all the community in the city, you learn that there's a lot of heritage in these things, right? Mm-hmm. And I think Chicago, and I haven't said this, it's the first time I ever said this and thought about this, but I think Chicago is starting to understand its place in the world. So preservation is everything. And we don't have we're not the best at preserving things. Yeah. There's still buildings we tear down that have historical meaning. There's still buildings on the south side that, you know, for some reason, we know why, but they're not preserving those historic places. You know what I mean? Like, but I think Chicago overall is starting to realize, man, this is such a historic place. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we have to start saving this stuff. So yeah. But we're growing though. We're still, as crazy as people say Chicago's population is dropping, Houston might take us over in 25 years or so.
I was just in Houston. Houston ain't Chicago.
Yeah, right. It's not. You know what I mean? Like, and the way the laws are going down in Texas, that's gonna come to a stark halt.
Yeah.
Like so yeah, I think that Chicago's growing, contrary to what people may think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what people on the outside have this idea of how they think it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
Which all cities are dangerous.
All cities.
You know, and obviously there is danger here. Yeah. One thing that was a new experience for me was like, I know people who have been victims of crimes and carjacking and muggings and things like that, which I didn't in Nashville.
Yeah.
But a bigger city, there's more stuff. But as far as like per capita, it's really not. It's not even close to being the most dangerous city.
Not even top 20. I don't.
Memphis
think.
is like way more dangerous.
Way more dangerous. There's suburbs of Chicago are way more dangerous.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I think.
It's just big.
It's just big.
Yeah.
And I think because Chicago is the middle ground of America.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's criticized a lot. Not only that, but Chicago has a certain attitude to ourselves. So we don't really give a fuck about the East and the West. You know what I mean? Like, so you know, there's some disdain that other cities and other places might have. So where you want to paint this picture, that's a bad place because they don't rock with us like that. You know what I mean? Like, well, and that's probably gonna be like that forever. You know what I mean? We just have to do a better job here in Chicago of, you know, showing that truth. You know what I mean? Like, in talking. That's why we do what we do with the podcast. You know, it's like to shed light on. You know, I walk around with any given moment $7,000, $8,000 worth of equipment in my hand on South Side, West Side, North Side. You know what I mean? Like, so there's no fear. I think those people stop it. Come to Chicago and you'll see it's not bad.
Right. I think one thing that we're like crime stats in big cities can be misleading is like all cities have pockets where there's high crime rates. Right.
It's just natural.
Right. But the bigger the city, the bigger that pocket is. Yeah. and the more like insulated it can be.
Yes.
So like sometimes those areas can be worse than they are in other places because they're so insulated by the culture of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. I mean, you see,
and you kind of know where those are, and you just don't stay away from that. Unless
hell, even if you go down those places, look, don't do too much.
Right. Yeah.
Like don't be going down there looking like a Karen. You know what I mean? Like don't be going down there looking like you judging people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's part of the big issue. If you go down there and
pay attention, don't look like a target.
You know what I'm saying? Like pay attention. Use your surroundings. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Man, people get on my nerves.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I will say I had an incident where, I mean, I can't confirm for sure, but I think I almost got targeted to get robbed one night.
You a big target.
Well, here's the thing. It's kind of funny to me. I need to try to write a bit about this because it's funny, I think, but I don't know. I haven't like really tried to put it into words in that way yet. But what happened was I was walking back from a mic, and I won't say where because it'll reveal where I live exactly.
Yes, I do the same thing.
Yeah, but I was walking down the street. It was like 2:30 in the morning. It was cold. I have this jacket that I wear when it's really cold. It's not an actual military jacket, but it's loosely based on one, and it's like looks like a Vietnam jacket.
Oh, okay,
it's a big green jacket, right? And I'm 6'8".
Yeah,
so I'm wearing that jacket, and I'm walking down the street with no one else out there, and this car. It wasn't like a raggedy car. It was like just like a kind of a I don't know, a nice, decent looking like crossover type from Nissan or something like that, right? As I'm walking, it pulls up right in front of like where I am, almost like it was trying to cut me off in this like little entryway to a business. And I had to stop like, all right, here we go. And I just try to keep walking with confidence, And then I walked past it.
Yeah.
And no one got out or anything. And then I kept walking, and then it pulled up again pretty fast up to then where I was again at that point.
The old school mafia
and I was just like, all right, this is bad.
Yeah.
But I just kept walking with confidence, like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And then they sped off, and I had to stop. Like I bet there was an argument in that car.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, this one was like, dude, come on,
below, man.
Not this one.
Yeah, not this. He's too big.
There's got to be someone else.
Yeah, it had to be. Dude, you not a small dude. If anybody listening to this, John is not by. He said he's 6'8", and like seeing 6'8" in real life is different than hearing about it on 2K. You know what I mean? like that's different. Like you a big ass motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like
taller than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I know. Shit. And that's an idol here. You know, like, bigger than Kobe, almost big as LeBron.
Yeah, I always get that. I always thought Kobe was 6'8", but I saw him listed as 6'9".
I saw him 6'7". I thought he was 6'7".
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's in basketball. Sometimes they pump those numbers a little bit.
Is he wearing shoes? Is he not wearing shoes?
Yeah, some coaches would like list me as 6'9", and I always bought. It's like I am 6'8".
Yeah,
I'm actually like exact. It's funny. Like the times I've been measured, like they actually like comment on it because without my shoes on, at like a accurate scale, unless I've shrunk in the last few years.
Right.
I mean, it's like right on the nose, 6'8".
6'8". Also, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
6'8".
Right at 6'8".
Yeah.
Now with my shoes on, maybe I'm closer to 6'9".
Closer to 6'9". Yeah, that's basketball. That matters though.
Yeah,
like that's an extra edge, man.
I've heard rumors that Shaq is not actually 7'1".
I heard that too. And when you see him next to Yao Ming, yeah, that you definitely he don't look 7'1". Nah. Right. Hell, some of these players now.
Yeah,
he is like granted age is getting a hold of him. Gravity's starting to bring him down a little bit, but he's still a force in history. So regardless of whatever he was, that's a monster.
Man, it always bugs me like when you see those lists of like greatest players and stuff like Shaq should be so much higher than
bro.
I mean, to me, if Shaq is the best player that's not in the best of all time argument, I think.
Yes, he 1,000%. I think you got. I saw some. This is hard. It's hard to get lists. It's hard to get lists.
Impossible
because somebody on the internet could be like, "Hey, guy's trash. He don't know what he's talking about." But when you talk about like the greatest of all time, I always like, look. I know people advance, and I know athleticism has changed. I don't know how people don't have Shaq in every top 5 of all time. Like look,
because those early Lakers years, I mean, it was just
he was running the ball up the court.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yes, people forget that. People forget when he was on the Magic, he was taking the ball up the court.
Yeah,
6'1", 7'1", 7'2", 6', whatever you want to call him. That was a big man running the ball up the court with handles.
And if the culture of basketball had been what it is today back then, he probably would have been even more amazing because they would actually let him do that stuff.
He would average like 60.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like when did they put the little the line, the half circle underneath the basket where you can't even stand there no more? If you you know what I mean? Like that wasn't in the 90s. That's some 2000 shit.
Yeah,
you know
like because of him.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like because of him. So like imagine if they had that where you couldn't just the moment he get in there, if you standing right underneath the basket and you touch him, that's a foul.
Yeah,
bro. Hack-a-Shack would have been gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like he because by the time you would have started hacking, he would have had 45 on you.
Right. And that was why he had to put on that massive body.
Yeah.
Too. Because he was pretty he was always strong, but he was like more slim.
Yeah. I mean, you get hit like that.
Yeah.
And people were I mean, back in the 90s, you could target like crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's why it's like hard to tell. People like Jordan played against, I saw this plumbers. I mean, but plumbers that had weapons out there, bro. Like,
that's the dumbest argument of all time.
It is the dumbest argument, bro. He could still get buckets now if he wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you a matchup. Everyone talks about all these different matchups that didn't exist. It would be cool to see. I'll tell you one I just thought of that hadn't occurred to me is like I would love to see Shaq in like 2000 Shaq go against that bad boy Pistons.
Ooh.
Like, could they have?
They couldn't have done nothing with him.
Nah,
because people was hanging on Shaq when him and Kobe went through.
He would have got him for sure.
Yeah, he would have got him for sure. Yeah. I mean, they was just too small for one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you think about that Lakers team. That Lakers team had those for to 2002.
Yeah.
They had way better perimeter and role players than the Pistons had. Pistons had bad boys that could fight. Yes, true. But that's how. I mean, that's only gonna get you so far.
Yeah, imagine you put like 26-year-old Shaq on that like 87 Bulls team.
Bro, come on. Jordan would have won it. He would have won a chip
like
early.
10 championships.
I think people forget like when Jordan came in the league, because people want to be like, well, we don't talk about when Jordan missed the playoffs and got beat. Okay, he had Kyle Macy as his point guard, and if you don't know who Kyle Macy is, go look Kyle Macy. I don't think nobody in the history is gonna know who that dude is.
Yeah, I never heard that name.
He was the point guard, bro.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah. Like he was the point guard that was supposed to facilitate.
Right.
Like come on, G. Like you mean to tell me, nah, I'm not going. I'm not going.
Yeah, there were some great teams in that era.
It was.
And that Celtics team, that mid-'80s Celtics team.
Yes.
And the Pistons and Showtime Lakers. I mean,
man, look, the basketball has changed, and we got to remember now. Like, look at today's age, man. All our stars that we consider the 2000, 2010 stars, bro, they've been in the league for 15 years now.
Yeah.
Durant been in, I think, 15 years. I think Steph Curry is 15 years almost. Bro, like they're about to be gone. We got to probably like another 4 or 5 years of this golden era of all these people.
Yep.
And look at Team USA just lost, to Canada. You know what I mean? Like we just lost to Canada in the third in a bronze medal game. Yeah. I don't know, man. We better start appreciating it.
America is starting to lose their grip on basketball. Man, look, it's scary.
It is. And now here's the thing. They still ranked US number 1. US was still ranked number 1 in FIBA with the Olympics coming up next year.
Yeah.
And that's because the hope is you're gonna get LeBron and boys to come back for one last rodeo and try to win a gold medal. After that, I'm not saying that there's not skilled players, but we put our 9 LeBrons and Steph Currys and Westbrooks and PG. We done put all those out there already, and look, they got beat.
Yeah.
So we better start appreciating these people before we stop comparing and talking all this shit about LeBron, man. Like let them be, man.
Yeah,
let them be.
It's the 3-point shot is starting to kind of ruin the game, I feel like. What's your opinion on that? I think when the 3-point shot was introduced, it was great, and it was great for a long time. Yeah. But it's like all sports. I mean, there's so much science and involved, and like guys are playing ball when they're 5 years old. Like seriously, it's like whenever it's like I was thinking like a sport like bowling, for example. Like eventually that sport's gonna die once everyone who's good at it just 300 every time.
Yeah, every time.
There's no
Now, and you're right, man. Like,
so it's kind of the similar thing that's happening. I feel like
very, very true. I think it was, like you said, it was good for the game. It was. I don't remember if you remember those NBA Jam sessions that they used to have during All-Star Weekend, where they had the double rim, and if you shot the celebrity, if you shot the ball up in the higher rim, you get more points for that. that was the 3-point back in that day because it was like fun. Now,
right.
motherfuckers can hit that on the Wednesday.
So
you know
what I mean?
Like, as a jump shot, that's a normal thing. So I think it is not ruining it.
And how much further can you bring the line out?
Right.
It's already out. There's like this much space on the corner.
Yeah, the corner, you got no more room. You're going to be tiptoes. You're going to be tiptoes on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, But now, let me ask you this question because I get in a debate with this a lot.
Okay.
People say LeBron James is the greatest athlete of this time, right? I said, I'm not saying he's not a great athlete. I think, y'all, that Steph Curry is a greater player of this generation, the greatest player of this generation, other than LeBron. Not talking athletics. Yeah. I judge it off of this.
The skill of basketball.
Skill of basketball, changing the game. Steph Curry changed the game to the point where you have to guard people past the half-court line.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because you could pull from damn near half-court.
Right.
We laughing and joking, but when they call it logo LeBron, logo Steph, and logo Dame, man, they shooting from the logo now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so LeBron didn't change the game. He changed the way people work contracts. You know what I mean? Like, but like, far as the actual activity of basketball, he's just fucking athletic. He's just the most athletic player that we probably might ever see.
Right.
You know, in the history of this game.
Yeah.
He didn't change nothing though.
That's true.
Yeah, he didn't bring a fadeaway.
That's true. Curry changed the game in the way Shaq did at the time.
Yes.
In the opposite direction.
Yes.
Kinda,
Shaq got like we said earlier, Shaq got the half circle down there under the rim. The hack and Shaq rule.
Yeah.
Your defenses play different. Steph Curry, you got the guard. A player that can shoot.
They had to recruit guys just to guard it. They had to have like they had to have like a bunch of big guys to foul out against them. You know?
Yeah, dude. Like, so that to me, that's my take. That's my hot take.
Yeah. I think you're on something. I think that's right.
Yeah, man. Like, think about who's going to be the next person to change the game. That's when Jordan changed the game. We know he changed the game. Even Kobe didn't change the game.
Right.
He modeled the game.
It's almost going to take like, you know, I don't know, like if Wemby's going to be the guy, but it's almost going to take a big man that's so dominant that it just can't be stopped, that it starts to question the three. It makes the three questionable.
Yes, obsolete. Right. You know what I mean? Like, right. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. Victor is got to put some weight on, man.
Yeah, he does.
He got to put some weight on. Like, I feel like you play in France. He said this. This is not the first time I heard a European player say that European league is harder than the NBA. We know that Luka Doncic, he said he's been an advocate for like, yo, this is easy. That's why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah,
it's kind of proving it. He's also a very gifted athlete. We've seen this.
Right.
We don't know about Victor. You know,
right? We don't
know about him yet. So like, it's hard to give.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's gonna change the game. He might. He just might.
Who knows? Yeah, it's hard to know. You know, it's funny. He had so much hype about him initially. Yeah. That it turned to hate.
Yeah, right.
That now it's back to he's probably in the best place he could be, where it's all he has like less to lose.
Yeah, yes.
It was so funny to see all that happen.
Yes. It's so crazy.
It wasn't even his fault.
When you get good at something, man, the hate just gonna come. Like that is a sad way of life.
Yeah. Well, it's like we've been following the Colorado Buffaloes.
Oh my
Deion Sanders.
Yes.
Dude, I became like so quickly a bandwagon. So like I had been hearing about what he was doing, like just kind of in passing, you know, it was like on the peripheral for me. And then I heard about the TCU game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, this is like, I don't know, that's when it clicked. Like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
I knew because I've never been a big college football guy.
Yeah, I used to be really big into it.
Okay, I'm more like NFL, but I knew like, oh, that's a team that was like, you know, in the national championship game, and he beat them. Okay, what the hell's going on? So then I was like, all right, let me watch one of these games. I watched the Nebraska game.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, okay, this is something different.
He got boys out there playing.
Yeah.
He got them boys playing, dude.
It would have, like, watching that game, what it felt like, it was like he was like this king.
Yeah.
And they want to, like, honor him. Yeah. You know, like I remember there was a time, I think it was his son got an interception, and like it was almost like that, like bring me the ball, it was always like that. It was like, look what I've done for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, wow, this is like a cult, but like in a good way.
In a good way. You see, they got the anytime the defense does something, they got the throne out there.
So
he's got a throne. So whenever the defense does something, they get to go and sit on the throne.
Okay, I didn't see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Like
it's so cool, man. And Deion is just like
the man.
It's incredible. Like he just always has the perfect thing to say, and it's like,
you know what's crazy though? I was just talking about this because a lot of people are criticizing him. But a lot of people, did we forget who Deion Sanders was?
Right, that's the crazy thing about it.
I'm looking at people that are my age, our age, and I'm thinking to myself, why is this new to you?
Right.
Like why are y'all surprised and hating on this dude?
Right.
Like he has been the same person
Yep.
for decades now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just another sport. Not even another sport. It's just another arena.
That's how he interfaces with life.
Yes, you know what I mean. Like, and so like when you hear people criticizing, and especially the coach Norvell from Colorado State, to say something that crazy about him with the glasses and the hat, bro, you are literally my age. You grew up watching this man.
Yeah, you're fueling everything he's doing.
What do you like? Why is this brand new to you? He's been talking to the media with glasses and chains and shit his whole life.
Yeah,
like I don't know, man. People are ridiculous when they just are jealous.
Because you got this guy like, just shut up and play ball. It's like, this is fun. This is great. Like it's like his talk is making them a better team.
Yes. Since when has trash talk been eliminated from sports?
They all did it. They all did it.
I trash talk when I play spades.
Yeah.
If it's anything where I could win, I'm gonna trash talk your ass.
Right. Right.
It's just a competitive. After it's over, we can go sit and have a beer.
And you don't have to.
Right. We don't have to.
You don't have to trash talk. That's the thing. It's like I hate the idea that it's people think it's like wrong to trash talk.
Right.
Like Tim Duncan notoriously was like super like calm and didn't.
His trash talk was his game. Was his game.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's also fine to trash talk.
Let him do it. Honestly, I think whatever.
It's the game within the game.
It's a game where I was just about to say, because like how I couldn't imagine playing against Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Me talking shit to him and this dude just stoic face, still good, drop 35.
Right.
I'd be pissed off. I think now that's more of a psychological warfare than me talking shit. You know? What?
Yeah.
Like, come on now, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, dude, it's been so much fun to watch. Oh man, and the last games you watched, did you see all
man, I'll be honest, I didn't stay up till 2 in the morning. I went to bed as soon as overtime hit. I was like, well, they tied the game. I'm gonna wake up with some news. That's all. I can't do it, bro.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy how long the game was. So I did an open mic Saturday night over in Wrigleyville, and then went with some comics to that DraftKings. So have you been there yet?
No,
I
have not.
Dude, it's really cool. It's really cool. I mean, it's like watching sports in a movie theater.
I want to go.
It's very cool. And I was planning on just going back home and watching the game at my place right here. And I was like, hey, do you guys want to? We were kind of talking about it, with some comments. I was like, hey, you guys want to just go watch the game at a bar? And like, sure, let's do it. So we ended up going down there, and it was an incredible place to watch the games. Great game. And then this guy walked up to us about midnight. He goes, "Hey, sorry, but you got to close out your tabs. Like we're closing." I was like, "What? It's like the third quarter."
Yeah.
There's no warning. He was like, "We're closing at midnight." It was like 11:58. I was like,
"What the fuck?"
Yeah. What? And we started. We're comics, so we started talking shit. I remember I was like, "Yeah, come on in. Watch the game. We won't get to finish it, but you can start it here if you want to." And we were just like talking shit about how they were closing, so. And then I went back to go to the bathroom, and I walked by the manager who was like talking to some of the employees, and I overheard him go right as I walked by. He was like, they really need to figure out a way to like stay open when these big games are on.
Yeah. That's
like, okay. So you heard our live review.
Don't you want money? Like
yeah, exactly.
Don't you want that? Ain't you a sports betting place?
Right. Crazy. Yeah. What if we had like big money on this game?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
insane.
Yeah, they got to figure that one
out.
I
know. So we walked down the street, went to a 5 a.m. bar, of course, and finished the game. So it was like, long story short, it was like I watched the game in like a pub crawl.
Yeah. That's a good one.
And it was so much. Oh man, was that fun to watch?
I could imagine.
Drunk with other people that are into that team as well. It was so much fun.
I think that might be
most fun I've had in sports.
Yeah, I was about to say that might be something that this world needs. This America at least. Like
it's bigger than football.
Yeah, it is.
That's how I feel about it.
It's bigger. It's almost like I'm not watching a football game. I wanted to see that dude win.
Right.
Nothing against the other team.
Right.
I just want to see him be successful and like take a team that won one game and make them continue this shit, bro.
Right.
Like how far can you go, man?
Yeah.
If they played the Bears, they would definitely win. Like they would definitely win.
Oh man, that's been tough. Because I'm a Titans fan because I grew up in Nashville. Obviously, I'll always be a Titans fan. But, I live here now, so I kind of feel like I adopted Chicago sports. Yeah. The Bulls were really easy because I was a Bulls fan growing up. We didn't have NBA. we had WGN, so I grew up watching the Bulls, just like people who lived here, and so I feel like I was like, okay, I'm kind of adopting the Bears, whatever.
Send them back.
Yeah. Went to the last game of the season last year. Mm-hmm. Fields didn't play; they wanted to lose it, and but the offseason was kind of exciting, and I was like really following it really closely. Got some comics together. We all went to the Packers game, the first game of the season. It was like, all right, here it is. All right, this is the time. Let's see how it goes. And it was just a disaster.
Flop.
People were like booing the team. Yeah. Like people were like yelling behind us. They were like, throw the damn ball.
Bro, I don't want to talk too much and mess up my potential partnership with the Bears, but dude,
I'm still hoping for him to turn it around. It's just rough right now.
It's very rough. I don't know if there's too much hope left. You know what I mean? Like for certain personnel on the team, but I know
people are calling like give the backup a shot.
Give something, man.
Yeah, what's it? Baggett? Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Bagent, B-A-G-N-T.
Because we are so bad here in Chicago, we don't even know who the hell the backup is. Like who is the backup? Where did he come from? You know what I mean? Like it's just Chicago deserves better. All right, we deserve better. Like
it's such a historic sports city, and
you know what pisses me off is that like every week I try to get work done before the game so that I can peacefully watch it. You know what I mean? Like, and then I'm more stressed during the game than I would be doing my work. You know what I mean? It's like, come on now.
But that's what makes sports great.
It is.
Because anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Honestly, this season, the best thing that happened for the Bears is the fact that the whole division lost last week. So everybody in the division lost. So it's almost as if we are still one game apart from each other.
If they make some changes and get together,
anything
could happen.
Anything with Kevin Garnett, anything is possible.
Totally,
anything is possible.
I'll tell you, in the NFL especially, you never know.
I feel like baseball, whoever the hottest team is going into the playoffs, that's the most dangerous team. Basketball, whoever is the team that is also hot, you know what I mean? Like the play-in is because we had some play-in teams last couple of years make it to
the Bulls played Miami and then they made it to the finals.
The Heat is the Heat was in the football. Just if you can maintain, get hot at the right time, week 11, week 12, you can make a run. You know what I mean? Like you can make a run, dude. Like
what is he only got to win 3 games in the playoffs?
That's
to Super Bowl?
That's it. You just got to win 3 games.
Yeah.
Like that is like which makes it that may even more disappointing for the Bears.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. We only just have to get to the playoffs. You have to get to the playoffs. That's it. That's all we're asking for. 4 games with the wild card, right? You know what I mean? Like you got to win the 4 games. There's 4-game winning streak is not unheard of.
No,
you know what I mean? Like
it happens.
It happens, bro. Like, and if you can get hot, come on, man.
Yeah,
play calling. That's all it is.
I know. Got DJ Moore. I mean, he's a great receiver. There's some
pieces,
elements.
We got pieces. We got pieces, bro. We just got the fucking IQ of the quarterback. Got to be.
Yeah.
You know. You got 5 seconds to throw the ball, bro.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You don't have 10. This ain't Madden. You can't run around. You can't do a 30-yard drop and think that you're gonna be okay. Like, come on, bro. Like. I don't know.
You can't Google where you should throw the ball.
No, you can't, bro. You can't wait for your signal to get good inside the stadium to be like, all right, here we go. You know, like DJ Moore's over here. You know, bro, he caught the ball twice.
Let me call him, see what he's doing.
You know what I'm saying, bro? He caught the ball twice on the first drive. Fantastic play, 60+ yards.
Yeah, that first drive, I was like, all right, we're on it now.
He didn't get the ball until like the 3rd quarter again.
Yeah.
Huh?
There were 2. It's bizarre because there were 2 drives where the Bears looked really good.
Yeah.
It was like the first one, and then there was one like deeper in the game.
Yeah,
I remember where it looked like the first one. I was like, okay, all right,
we doing
where was that?
Yeah,
and then all fell apart.
But bro, I don't know if your podcast is about this, but this is a sports podcast now, right?
Yeah, well, you know what? Here's the thing. So I actually was thinking I didn't plan this, but I've always been a sports guy. I played sports, but I've been getting super into it more lately for some reason. I don't know if it's like. I think there's a connection there where it's like as I get deeper into comedy, because I played sports and I'm doing this thing that's very difficult, I relate to it on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's hard to be a great athlete. It's hard to be a good comedian. It's hard. Like, so it's like, and also, when You get a little older.
Yeah.
You have more things that are stressing you out in life.
Yes.
I don't know why, but there's something relieving about being stressed about something that has no implications on your actual day-to-day life.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what sports does for us. It inspires us like next to our life.
Yes.
And it's not this thing in our life
Yes.
that's like,
Yeah, because it has no bearing on anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we can cry and bitch and complain about the Bears all we want to.
Yeah.
I still got to go to work.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? I still got to go up and live my life. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like even if you take that away, it has no bearing.
Yeah. You're not getting fired from your job because the Bears are having a bad season.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're not gonna bring me to office and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Hey man.
It's like I'm sad, but it'll be fine.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so yeah, you're right, man. Like
Totally. And I was thinking, so I have I'm setting up I'm gonna have 2 studios basically. I'm gonna record. So when I'm back in Tennessee, I'm gonna have a studio where I record there.
Okay.
And so like initially I had a podcast like years ago, and it was like a gun podcast.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do for a
big
living with
I know.
YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And my thought was like, okay, I want to do something that's more general. It's not just only guns. It's just more whatever I want to talk about. And I'm not gonna be able to have as many like gun type guests when I'm in Chicago.
Yeah, no.
Right. So I was thinking like sports would be a cool like kind of general topic.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I got this.
Oh, I see.
Have you noticed this? So this is like, you probably already know what this is. This is the original game ball from like the 90s.
Yes.
You know?
Wilson now.
Yeah, Wilson. Yeah. But so here, you'll probably appreciate this. So, this is the era of the NBA I grew up watching. And you too.
Yeah.
I've been collecting these for years.
Oh wow.
And what I've been trying to do is, I need to find like a super nerdy sports collectible guy to like help me with this. But what I'm trying to do is, I want to get a ball rack.
Yeah.
That is like what the NBA used at that time. Now, obviously, the ultimate would be if I could find a real one.
Yes.
That was like in a practice facility.
Yeah.
That's probably not very likely.
Yeah.
I've looked up a lot of photos and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you see the ones at games that have NBA on them and stuff, but all the photos I've seen from practice, it's probably just some shit they bought at some local sports store.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an official NBA
thing,
But most of them, what I've seen, it's like they're kind of like whatever, like the chrome with whole 15 balls, 3 layers of 5. You know. So I'll probably just buy something like that.
Bro.
But I just ordered a couple today. And I think I got to count them, but I think I might have 15 now.
Really?
Yeah.
Of the original.
Yeah, of these.
Wow.
And I want to make put like a rack. Like as much of them are like in the original box.
Yeah.
That's the box over there. They can't see it.
Oh, yeah. You can't see it. Hey, I want y'all to understand. Like he really has like the David Stern ball. Like
these are pre 2006.
Yeah.
So in 2006 they went with that cross traction thing that everyone hated.
Yes.
And then they went back, but the logo changed. After that.
Yep.
It's this ball, but the images on it are different. Yeah. So this ball is only, I don't know when exactly they started this ball, but I think in the early 90s. It ran for basically like 10 years, the early 90s to the early 2000s.
That's a classic right there.
It's what Mike played with, and the early Lakers team. I mean, that was the ball.
Oh yeah. That's fire.
Yeah. So that's been a dream of mine, is to like have like a display, obviously. I'm not going to use them.
Oh yeah, you got to have it. That's fire.
You can't bounce those on a gravel driveway.
No. That ball will be it'll be them little with the leather is off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, in a day. Yeah.
And most of the ones I have are like in pretty much new condition. A couple of them are a little bit used.
Where are you finding them from?
Just eBay. They rarely pop up, and it's just kind of like a tick. Like I'll be like taking a shit or whatever, pop up eBay and look, see if there's any on there.
And,
just every now and then, there's one. And sometimes you'll see one, it's like, I'm not paying that for it. But then other times, like, oh shit, it's a good price. So snatch it up.
Who's getting rid of who is don't have the foresight that you do to keep these legends?
I'm gonna own the market on these things.
Yeah, I'm about to say, bro. You set up that ball rack. People be like, bro, I'll give you like XYZ for that whole rack.
Yeah. Here's something. I don't know how into like collectibles you are, but this is something that has fascinated me that I've learned from like buying these.
Yeah.
This has got to be the biggest insult for some NBA players.
Yeah.
So like this ball. Yeah. So typically these balls, the ones I just bought were like a crazy low price. They were $250.
Oh, that's not bad.
Normally they go from the most I've spent for one is like $450.
Okay.
Like brand immaculate in the box.
Yeah.
But usually like around $350, something like that is usually what they go for. Maybe $354. If it's been signed by an NBA player, and it's not like one of our favorite NBA players, it's worth less.
Oh, really? Oh my goodness! Could you imagine being a player? Be like, here's that ball signed by me. Yeah, well, I'll $10. What?
Totally, totally,
Shit.
dude. I've seen some that were like players that like you know.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of a good example, but like be someone you know.
Like Dickie Simpkins from the Bulls, 90s Bulls.
No, even someone more famous than that. I'm trying to think. There was one I saw for years on there that was like, yeah, this was like a all-star player, but it was like they wanted like 175 for it.
Oh, wow.
But for like the unsigned, it was like minimum 250 or 300.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I intentionally avoided those because like they kind of breaks up the whole thing. I want just
play your basic ball, nothing.
I got ripped off on one that I bought. I got it, and I could tell one of the panels had been signed, and someone had buffed it out.
I
was like, you got me.
I feel like that's like an obvious thing you can see, but like
in the photos it was
right. They
would show it.
Yeah, right. You sell it to you. Then that's shiesty.
Yeah, they got me on that one.
and eBay,
maybe I'll play with that one.
Yeah, I'm about to say yeah. You got to put that one down.
Yeah.
Then that's great. That's a good ass thing, man. The most I collect now is it's not electronics now.
Bears game ball too.
That's a Bears game ball.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, did they win with that one? Give it back to them. We need that ball in rotation again.
Yeah, this was from like I think like 2019 or 2020, like around that.
Wow.
It wasn't super expensive because it was the write up on it. It was like none of it is proven.
Right.
But it was cheap enough that it's like it wouldn't have been worth it to fake it on this level because it has all the referee markings and it's legit for sure.
Okay.
But the guy said it was thrown into the stands at a preseason game.
It makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's not like a highly valuable one, but it's still
it's a real ball.
Like how the game balls they've been like prepped with that oil.
Yeah.
They're all like dark like that. Oh. If you're watching the game, notice the ball that the quarterback had, like when the ball's in play, it's dark.
Yeah.
But when they kick the ball, it's light.
Yes, that's true. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. What is that for?
Here, grab it. I mean, I think it's just
wow.
grip and it's just I don't know. Yeah, quarterbacks prefer it. It's even the laces they've done something to there where it's like.
Oh yeah, look at this like iridescent. Y'all can't see it, but like it's got like this purple and pink.
Yeah,
bro.
And I don't think the ball was even probably used much. It's just that's how they kind of set them up. You know,
yeah. This is the Duke, huh?
Yep.
Duke. Okay. It's the Duke. Yeah, I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier. I just went on a tirade about. I get excited about collectibles.
Yeah, dude. I have a shit ton of comics. Like, that's one thing that. You would have to know Dario comedy.
Okay.
Like to know
right.
like huge comic nerd, man. Like I have at least I want to say like at this point like 3,000 plus comics.
Oh wow.
I used to collect like
How do you store those?
So I have them in they call them board and bag, right? Okay. And then I have them in the big box that's typical, right? Like that you see. Like honestly, if I wanted to, I could probably start of a small comic book shop.
Okay,
I got that many comics, but yeah, I got them in just the boxes that you see the comic books in, like lined up. We organized them last year. I want to say 7 or 8 boxes of comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you could pack comic books in like, and they're all full. So
do you have certain ones that you like? They're like whatever. Are comic books like graded? I guess do they come in like the plastic? If they're like higher value.
I don't have any graded. That's because I haven't gone to get it graded. It costs a lot to get that shit graded.
Oh, really?
It costs a shit ton.
I guess it's really got to be valuable enough where it's worth it.
Right. It's got to be worth it for me to like get something graded. And some of them, I know I have a lot that I could get graded. I know I do. Like I got some hot comics. Actually, I got the first ever comic of that had Black Panther in it.
Okay,
I got
cool.
that one.
Wow.
Yeah, Fantastic Four issue. I got the first ever issue of Captain Marvel, or her appearance as Captain Marvel. I got the first ever appearance of Riri Williams as Ironheart. I got some legendary.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. I got a bunch of shit that is 700, 800. I think I got like 300, 400 issue of Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite. So yeah, I got something that I could do, but it just costs a shit ton. You got to send it in. You know what I mean? Like, and so that they can like actually inspect it, and then they put it in, and then it's done. Once it's in that case, it's a wrap.
All right.
Yeah. Like you can't, like, not that I go back through anything.
Yeah.
Now, like I bought some comics. I got like 2 issues of them. So in case I do go that route, I still have one I can look at.
Right. That makes sense. I didn't think about that. It's true with the comic book. You can't.
Yeah.
It's not like a baseball card.
No.
You can't see it all.
Yeah, no. Once it's in that case, that shit is done.
Do they make like replicas?
Yeah, they have. So they have all the prints, right? So like,
I was just saying that seems like the way to go. If you have like a really valuable one, get like a replica to.
Well, what I do is like at the time of like when I buy it, I would buy 2 versions of it, right? I would buy like 2 copies, and so I would buy copy 1, copy 2. You know what I mean? So I have 2 first issue of whatever comic it is, and so the thought process is if I do get one that is hot and I can want to grade it, I can go back. But like there's sometimes when I like tell people, bro, I saw this story. Like, trust me, I got this story. Like, and then I go back and I reference. I do go back and I reference. Oh, this is what happened in that. Like, for example, the Guardians, not the Guardians, but the Infinity Stones. Like, I have several copies of that one, just because I'm like, the story was a little bit different, but I like it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a huge collector now.
Wow. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I actually, we were talking about the Colorado Buffaloes.
Yeah.
I made a recent purchase. I got a game ball. I don't know. It's probably from like last year or something, but I got one of their game balls, like the Nike Vapor.
Oh yeah.
Ball.
So
that's like.
You got some sports shit.
I got some few things.
Bro, you got the like that set that well, probably don't set up in the studio. I mean, maybe but like that's some dope ass shit.
Yeah.
You got the Marshall speakers right here, bro.
Oh, yeah.
what is going on here? Like this is like a heaven for like people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope as hell. I didn't know. What's next on the sports?
Well, I mean, my biggest collection is like guns, of course.
Yeah, well, that is. Yeah, I know people know who you are, but like anybody listen to it that like follow me. This man got a shit ton of guns, bro. Like how do you get look at me turn into a podcast? Look at me turn into the host real quick. My bad.
No, you're good.
Like where did that come from? Like how did you just like? I mean, you were down in Tennessee, so obviously like that's more common than up here in Chicago.
Well, it's the most Tennessee story of all time. Yeah, people probably think this is made up, but it's 100% true. I literally grew up in a log cabin.
Oh wow!
That was originally built in the 1800s, and it was called the Granny White Cabins in Nashville, and it was like a hotel and tavern. Jesse James actually stayed there.
What?
At one point, right?
The gunslinger?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, stayed in the hotel. Wow. And then so what happened was there's this guy who had this idea to like parts of it had deteriorated. Like the tavern was like almost completely deteriorated, but then there was still like parts of like the hotel part of the cabin that were still like good. And what he did was he bought it and then moved it out to the property where I grew up, and he basically reassembled it and made like a home there in the mid 80s. And there's a lot of history about the place I grew up. They filmed a movie there before my parents bought the place. It's called What Comes Around with Jerry Reed.
Oh wow.
And Bo Hopkins.
Wow.
Yeah. And they filmed a movie there. And so that's where I grew up. I grew up on a farm in a log cabin that Jesse James stayed in.
Jesus.
And my dad was a competitive shooter, so he had a gun range that he built like as soon as they moved in.
Yeah.
So I literally grew up with a shooting range like out my back window.
It's just second nature.
Of my log cabin.
Yeah, it's just second nature.
Yeah,
damn, you be shooting some fire ass guns too, man. I'm looking at that. I'm like, God damn! Like, it just looks fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just to go out there. Is it just like peaceful for you at this point? Like,
it is. Like people always ask, "Do you hunt?" Do all these things? No, I don't.
It's peaceful.
I'm not against hunting, but it's like it's just fun. You know, there's something. It's just like sports. There's something about I do a thing here and then it hits a target there.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean?
It's
just like
fun.
throwing a basketball through a hoop. It's like
that's the result. That's the return on investment.
Right.
Like,
I went bang, and then I heard ting, that thing fell over there. I was like, oh, I got it.
What's your favorite gun?
It used to be the Thompson.
Okay.
Which right back there.
Oh shit! I ain't even, bro. Hold on, y'all. He got this thing sitting
it's
right
not real.
up above me.
It's not real.
It's not real. That thing is nice. The grenade over there, bro.
Yeah.
That's not real, obviously.
No, now the grenade. Here, I'll grab it.
Oh God, no. Oh wow. Bro, got a grenade.
All right, so the grenade is, it's obviously it's inert, which means it can't explode.
It can't explode. Okay.
But it is real.
Holy shit.
The way these exist you can find there's these like dummy grenades that like I grew up at gun shows. You'd always see them, and they have like a hole in the bottom.
Yeah,
and it basically they were like they took
Cemented.
the head of a practice grenade and they casted like a grenade and put it on there, or whatever. And they're like $5.
Yeah.
So like this is a real grenade. So at one point it was a real grenade that was issued to a soldier that was live. And what the soldiers would do is they'd unscrew the top here and they would dump all the TNT out. So there's no explosive compounds, right?
Yeah.
And then they would take the whatever the head,
the pin.
Whatever. They'd pull the pin out and just kind of throw it on the ground, and it would go. So
just
then,
the rest of it that was in there.
Yeah, because the way I don't want to pull the pin out because it's a motherfucker to get back in.
Yeah.
But the way these work is you have like a spring under here, and so as long as you hold the spoon, it doesn't explode.
Yeah.
And when you release it, the spoon flies up, and then it strikes a primer, just like on the end of a cartridge in a gun, and then it is a fuse that goes down here, and it runs for about 4 seconds, and then the end like explodes and shoots fire down into the explosive compound.
And that's what makes it blow up.
Right.
Oh, shit.
So most of these were done that way, where they just let the head fire, which is like a little firecracker, essentially, and then you screw it back in, and you've got a grenade that doesn't work.
Oh, wow.
And they would bring these were never like officially like sold by the government or something, but people just brought them back. And there's nothing illegal about it because it's not an explosive.
Right, it's not explosive. Yeah. I've never held the. I want it. What the?
And
this thing is
heavy. I don't know how much TNT weighs, but I guess imagine that plus like TNT, sand in there. I don't know.
You would really have to have an arm.
That's the thing. They're heavy. Yeah,
bro. You. This is like more than a baseball.
Oh yeah.
Like by a lot.
Totally.
Damn.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Okay. Shit. So like you hold this down, pull a pin.
Yeah, the way I've seen it done in like videos, they hold it like that and they pull the pin and then throw it.
Holy shit! Imagine running with all that shit on you too,
jangling around.
Yeah, just jangling around. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and with the fucking Thompson over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy
heavy. Yeah, I had a buddy in the military. He told me that they would put tape around the spoon just as an extra security. They put tape around it and then make a little tab. So it was like a 2-step process. Yeah. Pull the tape off and then pull the pin. Just in case it got hung on something or whatever,
Yeah, because wouldn't that be bad? Like,
yeah.
What happened? I'm sure it happened, unfortunately, but like, damn. Yeah, that's amazing, man. Like, look at me. For a second, this was the podcast by Dario.
No, you're good. No.
Yeah, that's interesting though, man. Like, that's one of the first things I know when we first met each other and talked. It was online. You want to do the show up here. I was looking. I was like, this dude with a lot of guns when they come in, and I'm like, he got a lot of guns. Like, cause I don't really ask for. I don't watch video. I'll be honest, man. Like, somebody here's my. I don't watch. I don't watch that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I kind of want to see who you. Honestly, this is the truth. I just want to see who people are as a person because, like, I just like meeting people, and the way I look at it, I'm no gatekeeper here.
Right.
Like, oh,
you're great about throwing people up. Yeah, it's awesome.
Dude. Like, who am I to say you can't be on the show? You know what I mean? Like, unless it's something like wild, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, okay, cool. But other than that, I'm just like more in tune with like who people are, and I'm like, hey, he got a lot of guns. Like, this shit is crazy. That was the one thing I like knew. And then when I saw you, this motherfucker is big. Like, what the fuck? Like what the huge? I remember being like, gee, hold on. Like this dude is tall. Like,
I feel like that's something that like navigating the industry that I'm up against because of the gun thing.
Yeah.
It's like people, it's so easy to make like assumptions about who I am because of that.
Yeah.
So like, and at the very least, they're going to assume I'm probably not like a legit stand up. It's like, no, I'm not saying I'm legit in the sense I don't think I'm good. I have a lot of work to go.
They prejudge you and put you in a box.
Yeah, but it's like, no, this is like a thing I'm doing this every night.
Yes.
I'm not just like someone who's like tinkering with it.
Yeah. This is life right now. You serious about it. It's crazy. And I'm sure you get that a lot. You know what I mean? Like people just cast prejudgment. You know what I mean? Like, and then when they do the wormhole, like, oh, he plays. Of course, I was right. You know what I mean? Like, there's one of the funniest things is when I remember having you up, and the second time I had you up, not the first time, because I had no perspective. I was just like, well, which I do with everybody. I'm
we'll
like,
see.
We'll see. I mean, if it doesn't go well, it just doesn't go well. I got to do my job as a host. You know what I mean? And help it out. But the second time I brought it up, I remember people be like, "Who's this guy?" You know, like who's that? And I'm like, "Oh, just wait." Like, "Oh, just wait." Now I know. You know what I mean? Like, you see, you already thinking something, but just wait, just wait. And people are like, "Damn," you know. So I'm sure that's like not a battle, but like just something that an uphill climb. Which you sometimes, yeah.
It is, yeah. It's like it's a double-edged sword because it's like it's giving me a way to differentiate myself, which is important if you're trying to stand out as an artist of any kind.
Yep.
But I differentiate myself in a way that most people don't align with in that community.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, it's tougher. But another thing though that's good is like with comedy does have a lot of parallels with sports again.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's a skill that takes a lot of work to get good at. Sometimes resistance can actually be a good thing.
Yes.
Because people can get things before they're ready.
Yes.
And if you really are meant to do that thing, the harder someone tries to push you out of it, just the better you're gonna get.
The better, because then it just adds those layers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just adds those layers. I remember when I was first coming up, people would be like, "Are you a black comic or are you white comic?" And immediately,
which is such an absurd question.
It's an absurd question because I get what you're trying to say.
Right.
Am I a black comic? Are you going to support the black guy from black people? That's what that is.
Right.
And then do we cast you off to the white folks or your jokes don't hit with us? And you read between the lines with a lot of these things. And I remember that was a question that I used to get asked a whole bunch. And I'm new. And like for me, the answer I give today is, bro, I just make people laugh. Like, period.
I'm just a comic.
Yeah, I'm a comic. Like, I go to make people laugh. But then as you go through this, this race that we are all in, you realize that I make my jokes for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, and I like the prejudgment. I like going into all white, quote unquote, room and then having, how is this black guy, big black dude, talk with a different dialect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like accent, you know what I mean? Like, how is he going to appeal to me? And then I leave that room and you like, shit.
Right.
Like, shit. Like, yeah, his stories are the same as my stories.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's just a regular person. And that was funny.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of people miss. You know what I mean? When you cast these prejudgments on people, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
You putting us in a box. You give me a chance first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like give me a chance first because like I'm here to do a job. You pay money.
Yeah.
Let me do my job.
People are usually a lot more complex than you give them credit for.
Yes. Yes.
Initially.
And what's crazy for me, I just made a status yesterday that said I feel like I'm in my Kobe 24 year era. You know what I mean? Where I worked 21 years in retail. You know what I mean? Like 21 years in retail, and that was my life. You know what I mean? Like that was my life. And then, I was a comedian. I'm gonna lump this into the comedian part into my Kobe 8 years, right? I was a comedian. So like those two things, a lot of people knew me as, man. 2020, now, let's say 2023 right now, you meet Dario now, comedian, hasn't worked retail in almost 2 years. Actually more than 2 years because of the pandemic. You know what I mean? Like more than 2 years. Photographer, videographer. You know what I mean? Like fucking author in a magazine, a writer, contributor for a magazine. Like it's a
like doing what you love.
Yeah, doing what I love. You know what I mean? Like so there's two different. So it's hard to just like you say cast this judgment on people because there's so many complexities to people and how people get to where they are. That's the beauty in finding out. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. And selfishly, like I hate how like the way Kanye, all that shit unfolded with him recently.
Yeah.
Because man, like that documentary that came out on Netflix right before all that, like, I was never like I'm not like a big hip hop guy.
Yeah.
I'm aware of Kanye.
Yeah.
I know his songs and stuff, but I was like, oh, watch this would be interesting. And I was like, I feel like I connected with that so much because I have the same thing where it's like, he was like this renowned, like he was making the beats.
Yeah. He's a producer. Yeah.
Producer, right? But he's like, no, I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
And it's like I felt the same way where it's like people just I'm the gun guy.
Yeah.
Whatever. I've even felt like sometimes people passive aggressively, almost like intentionally want to show me that they only care about that and not my comedy. You know what I mean? And that's probably just in my head, but that's the thing that I'm insecure about, which I get. Yeah. So I was like, I related to that on such a such a level, and I was like, okay, this is like inspiring and powerful. And then all of a sudden, he's the worst guy in the world.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's part of the complexity. You know what I mean? You know, you said something. You said something there with people. You know, like, is it in your head that people are going out of their way or they're doing it? No, I think, and I had this conversation a month ago, right, with a couple of friends of mine, and I said, I think we need to stop playing. That playing like social media isn't a part of everyday life now. Oh, right. There are microaggressions that we have to, in social cues now, that we have to take into consideration as people. You know, there are people that only care about what you've given them before and forget what you're trying to do now. You know what I mean? Like, and part of that comes from what people don't see in themselves, and you can't do more than one thing. You can't do two things at once. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, best example I have aside from that one, that was a very good example, but, you know, our podcast is a food and history podcast. You know, it's called 77 Flavors of Chicago. By nature, when you hear the title, you'll be like, flavors. Yeah. Chicago food, right? You put us in that box, right? But, you know, we teach you in the title, 77 is the community areas. You know what I mean? Like, Flavors of Chicago is a play on the diversity of Chicago. Yeah. And so for the first 2 years, we were, you know, everybody, food podcast. And we're like, this is not a food podcast.
It's more than that, yeah.
No joke. I'm not even joking with you. 2 months ago, I damn near had a breakdown because I'm like, bro, literally 133 episodes now. The first 30 to 40 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes of the podcast is history. Right. The last 16 to 25 are food. So how you got that we're a food podcast is like, what on what planet? And so we were like, me and Sarah, my girlfriend, a partner on the podcast also, how do we break through so that people don't see us and pigeonhole us in it? Because we're educating people every week for 2 years straight. Yeah. No days off about the history of Chicago, and yet they still want to say we're a food podcast. Yeah. No joke, 3 weeks ago, one post took us from 3,700 followers to 12,000. Wow. Yeah, in 3 weeks, and it's history. That's awesome. So now we're like, hell yeah. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like, thank you. Finally getting some just due on the history front now. You know what I mean? Like, we can tell you people, you could research, you know, use this as a reference now. You know what I mean? Like, so, I don't know. People try to put you in the box no matter what. I think we have to, like, take those. Social media is what it is. If you see something on social media, it's a good chance these people have microaggressions towards your ass. Totally. You know what I mean? Like, how can you view a post and not like it? Bro, and I'm supposed to be your friend. I had a friend ask me, like, how do I support you? Share the shit. You know what I mean? Like, literally share the shit. You know what I mean? You see what happened when one person shares? I go from 3,700 to 12,000 in 3 weeks, and now more people see who I am. That's opportunity for me. That's going to help me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so we have to take it. That's a real thing, man. I stand. That's not no slight on, like, you know, social media, and like that's not a characteristic trait of a toxic person. That's the way we born up. There's people that's gonna be born. Everybody that's born from here on out will not even know a time without social media. Right. So that is gonna be the way people communicate and pick up nonverbal cues and things like that. Yeah. My little soapbox.
No, I totally agree. The internet isn't the internet anymore. No. It's just it.
Yeah. It's not a resource anymore. It was a resource for a long time.
Everything is. Yeah.
Now it's a what is John doing online? Like, what is he doing so I can see what I need to be doing? You know what I mean? It's a competitive thing. The theme of today's episode. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, social media is good and bad for whatever.
I know. I you know, it's funny. Since we're getting deep here, I struggled with like how I view it, you know, because it's like, you know, I came up my professional life on social media. Yeah, right. You know, I've been making a living off of, you know, YouTube it's technically social media, but sometimes it's like its own category. But
blurred,
but I've been doing it professionally. I've been doing that for 13 years or something, a long time, right? And I was kind of like in this weird place with. You know, I ran a podcast before and didn't do it for a long time. I was like, don't even want to bring it back. Right. And it's like I was starting to realize like the reels and stuff like that is like not healthy. No. You know, it's like I was starting to get the itch to like be a creator again. You know, because you go through these phases where it's like kind of climb the mountain. Yeah. And it kind of went, you know, about as far as it could within the context of everything. And and it was sort of like I wasn't, and I was comedy was like my new venture.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying that. I'm not getting worn out with that at all, but I want to add.
You want to add layers
creating
to
that. Again, I'm starting to get interested in doing that again, kind of thing. But then it's like, but I also don't want to be a part of like the stuff that I hate, that I think is bad, with all of that.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of like an internal conflict that I haven't solved.
Yeah, no.
If you were waiting for a solution, no, I have not solved.
Man, look, I'm right there with you, bro. Like, think about it. We both are right around the same age, man. Like, we grew up in a time where none of this shit existed. You know what I'm saying? And how we communicated with people was way different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you had to call and be like, "Hey, is Bill there?"
Hell, sometimes shit, you just ride your bike over to somebody's house and be like, "Yo, they not there." Damn, well, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I drive my ass back home. You know what I mean? Like,
well, Chicago, you may be able to ride your bike.
Right. Chicago, you can go up and down the block, but not in Tennessee. I'm sure that was like 8 Mile. You get out exercise in.
You gotta ask your parents to give you a ride.
Yeah, for real. But that was the way we communicate. And now, coming up in, especially trying to be in media, especially this is mass media form.
Right.
And you have to use social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's such a double-edged sword. It's like one of the best things that ever happened to humanity and also one of the worst.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you know what I mean? Like, entrepreneurship is way up. You know what I mean? But the level of creativity is got to also be way up in a saturated field. The one thing I will say about podcasting is that podcasting is...
It's hard to hate podcasts.
It's yes.
It's long form.
It's long form, yes. And it's really an untapped market. You know what I mean? Like, and that sounds crazy. Some people are probably like, what? Podcasts everywhere. I took the numbers into consideration, and I'm going to be wrong about the numbers, but I'm going to give you some roundabouts, right? Mm-hmm. When before the pandemic, I think there was like a 20 to 30% user rate, or people listening to podcasts, right? Before the pandemic.
Right.
During the pandemic, that went up, right? But it only went up to like 60 to 70%. So more people listen, but there's still 30 to 40% of space for us to create. And so the numbers tell us that it's not a field that is being open. So I love these podcasts. I love being able to get that form. I feel like that's going to be the way if we get creative to new research, new way of communicating, new way of getting your news, and we're essentially regular ass dudes. You know what I mean, with podcasts. And if we can get thousands of people to listen to us every week or so, whatever the frequency is, that's a level of income and entrepreneurship it wasn't seen.
Didn't exist before.
It didn't exist. So the double-edged sword is that there's just like the great American dream, right?
Totally.
There's the land of opportunity, but like there's always going to be some obstacles.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
like when I started making YouTube videos, doing that professionally did not exist.
Right.
That job was basically was formed out of thin air alongside us doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not that we invented it.
Yeah, right.
But like it was gradually, because we were so early on, it was gradually becoming a career as it was becoming our career.
Yeah, and try to be an early adopter in these things, man. You jump on trends early. You know what I mean? Like that's another obstacle for me. Being
oh my God,
older, I can't do that.
Well, being an early adopter nowadays with. I don't know. I mean, of course, people probably said that back then. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I just got kind of lucky because, I was in college and I wasn't studying, and it was like kind of how it came about was like, grew up on a shooting range, and then I was in college and I was living in an apartment where I couldn't just shoot a gun out my back window.
That's a dope story too.
And I was looking at gun videos online, and of course, YouTube was one of the few video platforms.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just made this connection. I was like, oh, my dad's got a shooting range. He knows a lot about guns. He could make better videos than this.
Yeah.
And then, we talked about it. And then he kind of, he started making some videos. And I would kind of critique them and stuff. And then I moved back home. And then I just, started helping him with it. And then the rest was history.
That's nuts. And what's crazy is it's all about just doing something better too, right? I mean, because there's a lot of things. Yeah. Honestly, I think the best thing when you're going to create is to have the least amount of knowledge of what's going around you as possible. Just get out there and do what you think is cool.
Yeah, if you believe in it, it's it may not be huge, but it's going to give it the best shot.
Because if you believe in something, that shit gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy to produce, make, talk about, do whatever it needs to be done to get whatever project done. You know what I mean? Like for the podcast, we blew up. The podcast blew up 13 days after we started. 13 days after we started. So we essentially haven't had any days off due to media. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that started out as a date night, bro. Like that
the best thing start out just some random
bro,
because it's real.
Yeah, it's real. It was
way.
real. Date night, bro. Like, and I think I remember the first time I knew we had a great idea. The first time I knew we had a great idea. My best friend Anwar, 30 years, right? 30 plus years now. I'm 39 now. We knew each other since we were 5, so 34 years. I known him. This guy's he's a smart ass dude. He's smart. Like he lives in Kentucky.
Okay.
He lives in Kentucky. He's super smart. My whole life I known him. He doesn't say much. He doesn't say when things are, like he doesn't give, the credit when credit is due a lot of times, He said, he hit me up and texted me and said, "Hey, bro, this is a good idea." I was like, getting that validation from him. Right. I was like, okay. I told Sarah right there, I was like, we own to something. And then, Curtis from Laugh Factory hit me up and was like, "Bruh, this is a dope idea." And this is all in the first few days of us doing it.
Yeah.
The first few days of the podcast releasing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a dope idea. That's a fire idea. I'm mad that I ain't think about it. So at first we like, okay, I mean, like, Chicago history, right. Food, this is nothing. Together, and then when the news, Tribune reached out to us, that was when we were like, wow.
Yeah, on to something.
Oh, we're on to something. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, and from there, now it's just maintaining, you know what I mean? It's just maintaining that level of energy we had at the beginning, which essentially is easy for us because they found us so early. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't catch us when we had fatigue.
Right.
Like you caught us when we still had like this.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, this energy about us. But it's just you gotta put effort into whatever you do and a passion to do it.
Yeah.
We done went to church here, man.
I know, totally. You're right. I approach this with everything I do artistically, whether it's YouTube videos, comedy, whatever. Like, if it's not, there's certain little games you got to play, obviously.
Yes.
You can't completely deny that stuff.
Yeah, right.
But if it's not at its core real and something you believe in and want to do, unfortunately, that doesn't mean it's not going to be a success. But I would have no interest in it.
Yeah.
And I would most of the time, I think I would see through it if someone else was doing that.
You could definitely
There's definitely some fake bullshit that's very successful.
You could definitely tell.
Oh, yeah.
I think what goes unseen too, like even from another person to doing a podcast, right? Like when being a guest on a podcast, you would walk into a room and be like, this is not real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is just for shits and giggles.
Right.
You know what I mean? I walk in here, my man got the canopy light going crazy. He got the camera, the whole. I'm talking about one of them cameras. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With the microphone, like, so that to me, that's effort because like this shit ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this stuff ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, money doesn't always play a factor, but like that's effort. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's money you could have put somewhere else, bills, rent. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, so it's those little things, that intangibles that you can't teach certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't teach you to be like, man, you got to spend like $4,000-$5,000
right
almost at once. You know what I mean? Like just to get this shit off the ground.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then if you gonna improve, that's gonna be money every so often. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know.
But then if it's all production value and no substance.
And no substance, right.
Yeah, we have that conversation all the time about the comedy. Yeah. It's like, there are guys that will do everything down to a T. They're like super fake all the time, and they like grease the wheels like everyone they can to get all these opportunities or whatever. Yeah. But then you see their act, and it's like
it's true, man. Look, I want to ask you. I'm gonna tell you mine, but I want to know yours because this is like, it's interesting, and we've been here for a long time. You tell me if we
Yeah, we're good. We're getting toward the end. But
I'm vibing.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Like, this is great.
But
fun.
With comedy, I had only just a couple rules. Me personally with comedy, so that I can remain authentic. Right? It was always, I tell all true stories, and obviously things embellished. Right? You got to doll up some of these stories. I'm a storyteller, so yeah, you got to embellish. Right? but it's got to be real. The base of it got to be real. It's got to be something that happened to me or I saw in real life or I was in that scenario. So like I'm not going to tell a story you told me about that cabin and then make me go make it a joke.
Totally.
It's got to be something that happened to me. I saw, I was right there in that moment. I could touch it. And that keeps the authenticity. So now I don't have to remember jokes. You know what I mean? Like I just got to tell the story back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just got to tell you what happened when I was there present. You know what I mean? Like that was my only rule. Do you have anything like that? Like how you, just to keep it fresh, keep it real?
Yeah.
You know?
I think I'll tell you the lying thing has been a topic lately because what's the comedian? I forget what the comedian's name.
Hassan Minaj.
Yeah, there's a big story about. I don't know a ton of details about it, but I do have an opinion about like lying in bits.
Yes,
I think it's okay to make up stories as long as the story does not make you look good.
Yes, right.
I feel like that's where it becomes hack.
Yes.
You know, obviously it's preferred if they're real stories, like how you do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not really big on making up stories. Like I have some things I do in my act that obviously I change like locations or different things just to make it fit better with something else, or
smart,
or maybe like I don't want to actually say exactly how it happened, but there's actually there's like truth in the concept. There's a lot of truth in the concept of what happened. I'm just making it kind of a different example, so I'm not getting too specific, you know, kind of thing. Things like that. And then of course the classic way of writing a joke is you have this like true story with this like kind of like absurd little twist you'll throw on the end. You know?
You know what's funny is like I feel like because you made a good point. I didn't even think about this, but like you can't be the hero in the story. You know what I mean? Like
dude, that's hack.
Yeah,
that's
is
hack.
that's,
like you can't have a bit about how like you saved a family from a fire or you like survived a shootout that you weren't in. Like you can't.
Yeah, you didn't do that.
You can't do that.
When you said that, I was like, damn. I am the loser in all my stories. Like not that's a loser in the sense of story. I lost in every story. You know what I mean? Like
but those are funny stories.
Those are funny. You know what I mean? I think there's the one story I have where I won, but that's not even the end of the story. Is where I beat I knew I was better than my parents. Right? That story. But even as I continue to tell it, I eventually lost. I lost immediately after that.
Yeah.
So it's like I never even thought about that.
Yeah,
like, that's mind blowing. Like, you can't be the hero in this. Like the hero sucks.
Right.
Yeah. In this scenario, like, no, we want to see you lose. Like, which is crazy, like to say, but like,
and then if you have like, let's say you have a genuine story where you did something that's pretty impressive, pretty heroic, let's say. Like I've seen people do bits like that, and the way they make them funny is it's like, here's a story about me doing this really impressive thing, but here's how I was actually being a loser about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't think of a perfect example.
No, but you're right.
But
you have to. There has to be a loss. Mm-hmm. There's got to be a loss. I don't know why.
Because it's comedy and pain or like neck and neck.
They didn't blow my mind, but like it's damn near close. That was because like you think about it, like I guess you do lose. Those are the best stories.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it really all art in general is kind of about loss.
Yes.
You know,
which
it's kind of the point of art.
Yeah. You want to lose, but ultimately you win. Like the financial part of it, you win when you start losing. We might be onto something.
We are onto something. Yeah.
You be a loser. That should be an ad or something.
Yeah.
Be the loser in your story.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought I had something there for a minute. I was like, nah, I don't know. That's funny though.
It's funny. Be the loser in your story.
Hell yeah, be the loser, and don't be afraid to be the loser.
Yeah, right. Because you'll win at the end.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, or something. I was like, or maybe something like this, like, don't be so afraid to lose that you can't win.
That's heavy. I like that.
We're on something there.
Yeah, we on something. I'm telling you, that's a dope concept.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I can probably go ahead and wrap it up because we're getting a little close to the end of the SD card life on the camera. I mean, we're just don't want to push it too far.
Yeah,
I gotta wipe that thing out.
Yeah,
but no, this is good. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, dude. This has been great. This has been awesome. We gotta do this again for sure.
Yes, for real. Thank you, man, for having me. Appreciate you. Follows, man. I'm Dario, man. So
yeah. Plug your social media and stuff.
You can follow. We talked about like social media game. I don't even plug my own shit anymore. I plug my personal page. You can follow me if you want to, but like, go to 77 Flavors of Chicago. Follow that everywhere on social media. Like if you Google 77 Flavors of Chicago, it's pretty lit.
Yeah.
You'll wormhole your way, find my stuff if you want it. But yeah,
I'll put it in the description on the YouTube.
Yes.
Video.
Go ahead and do that. But yeah, that's what I got going. That's my passion project right now. I'm loving everything about Chicago and opportunities that is given to me. So, go ahead, follow that, man. But thank you for having me on this,
Hey,
man.
thanks for coming on,
Yeah,
dude.
absolutely, man. Let's do it again.
Hell yeah. See you guys later.